I've decided to go independent. I'll take all the employees to my company." Shindo's words resonated coldly. After my father's death, as I struggled with the unfamiliar role of president, Shindo, who had been helping me, suddenly handed in his resignation. "I'll take the clients too. Oh, I'll leave you the cleaning lady. A cleaner with no other skills is useless to me." His words left me dumbfounded. Before I knew it, the only ones left in the company were Naomi and me, the cleaning staff. Lost and confused, Naomi spoke to me kindly. "President, it's going to be okay." I was taken aback by her words. "My name is Ken Manabe. At 27, I am the president of Manabe Construction, a mid-sized construction company in Japan. Although my father was the president until recently. He was in his mid-40s, still young. He often said that seeing the happy faces of customers when they saw the houses he designed was his greatest joy. I grew up watching him devote himself to his work and naturally decided to follow in his footsteps. Manabe Construction isn't a large corporation, but it has a wide range of customers, including business partners and private clients, and enjoys a good reputation. My father's honest work and his sincere approach to client requests built trust in our company. I was supposed to take over the company eventually, but first I thought it best to gain experience in the outside world. After graduating from university, I didn't join my father's company, but instead worked for a competitor to learn the basics of the construction business and gain practical experience. During vacations, I traveled to see architecture both in Japan and abroad. Old townscapes and cutting-edge buildings, each with unique architectural styles shaped by their cultures. I felt them firsthand, captured them in photos, and noted them in my sketchbook. Day by day, I honed my skills to be able to help my father someday. Work was busy but fulfilling. I was doing well with Mari, my girlfriend since college, and we were excited about our future. On weekends, we enjoyed visiting furniture stores and model homes. That continued until that day. When I received a call from my mother about my father's accident during work, it felt like the world stopped. I rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. My head went blank with the suddenness of it all. After the funeral, when I had to face reality, Shindo spoke to me. He had been with the company since my father started it and was a trusted figure. "Ken, I know it's tough, but let me handle the company. You need time to grieve now." His words were such a relief. However, reality waits for no one. With my father's passing, I became the president of the company. Greeting contractors and clients and checking ongoing projects, there was a mountain of things to do. The unfamiliar responsibilities of being a president were overwhelming. But with Shindo's support, I managed to get through the daily tasks. It was clear why my father had trusted him. He provided detailed advice on management and how to interact with employees. Then the harassment against the company began. One morning when I arrived at the office, trash was scattered at the entrance. A note stuck to a window read, "A company taken over by a playboy's son will soon collapse." The sight made my stomach churn. "What is this?" I stood there stunned as Naomi passed by. "Good morning, President. I'll clean this up, so please focus on your work," Naomi said with a calm smile. Her composed demeanor eased my mind a bit. "Thank you, Naomi, but I can't believe someone would do this." "It's okay. It's probably just temporary. Your sincerity will eventually get through to them." Encouraged by Naomi's words, I took a deep breath and headed to the office. However, the harassment continued daily. Trash was thrown, malicious rumors were spread, and anxiety was palpable among the employees. "Ken, what do you think about the recent situation?" One day, Tanaka from the sales department approached me. "Honestly, I'm aware that the situation is tough, but I'm determined to do everything I can to protect this company I inherited from my father." "I understand. We'll do our best too," Tanaka answered with a smile, but I could see the anxiety in his eyes. One night, as I was working overtime alone, my gaze drifted to a photo of my father on my desk. "Dad, Am I doing this right? I murmured, and tears started to flow. I tried desperately to hold them back, but they wouldn't stop. Damn, can't I do it like Dad did? Just as I was losing confidence, my phone rang. It was from Mari. Ken, are you okay? You seem down lately. Yeah, sorry. I've been worried about the company. I see. But I know you can overcome this. I'm also here to support you. Mari's words gave me a bit of courage. Shindo, Naomi, my colleagues, and my girlfriend Mari, there were many reliable people around me. Maybe I was taking on too much by myself. I'm not alone. I vowed to remember that. The next day, just as I was considering consulting the police about the incidents, Shindo came to me. Ken, I have something to tell you. His expression made me feel something serious had happened. What is it, Shindo? I've decided to go independent. I'll be handing in my resignation. His sudden announcement left me speechless. Wait, what do you mean? Due to the ongoing harassment, the employees feel unsafe and have agreed to join my company. Everyone. That's just... My head went blank. Shindo, whom my father had trusted, was doing this. But why? Please give me a little more time. I'm sure we can improve the situation. As I desperately tried to persuade him, Shindo looked at me with cold eyes. Ken, I feel bad for you, but this company has no future. We have our own lives to consider. I can't sacrifice myself for you. Not everything your father built. Your father was indeed a great manager. But you are different. It's unreasonable to entrust the company to you now. Those words constricted my heart. The clients feel the same. I'll leave the cleaning lady for you. There's no need for a cleaner who can't do anything else. With those cold words, Shindo left. Before I could stop him, other employees also submitted their resignations and left the company. Wait, everyone. I called out desperately, but no one turned back. It seemed like Shindo might have smiled slightly as he left. It could have been my imagination, but still. After the employees left, I stood dumbfounded in the quiet office. I had resolved to protect everything my father had passed down, the company, and the livelihoods of those who worked there, yet I had been able to do nothing. As I muttered this, tears started flowing again. There was no need to hold back anymore. No one was watching. Maybe my belief that I could rely on those around me was just naive. But then, it happened. President, it's okay. Please leave it to me. Naomi's voice reached me. Surprised, I looked up to see her standing there with a gentle smile. Naomi, but it's all over. No one stayed. No, I am here. And it's too early to give up. I couldn't hide my surprise at her words. I had thought Naomi could only clean, but what could she possibly do? Actually, an acquaintance of mine is considering remodeling. Could you talk to them? Grasping at straws, I nodded. This might be my last chance. With my father's spirit in my heart, I resolved to rise again. With mixed feelings but hopeful, we headed to her acquaintance's house. As we drove, my mind was filled with complex thoughts. Naomi, are you sure this is okay? Yes, don't worry. My acquaintance is trustworthy. Naomi answered confidently, but my anxiety wasn't eased. At best, it might be a small-scale renovation. Considering the current situation, I was thankful for even that, but as we arrived at the destination, I was shocked. A mansion easily over 300 square meters stood before us. Here? Yes, this is it. Naomi answered as if it were obvious. Confused but following her, I approached the gate and rang the intercom. A foreign man responded, and to my further surprise, Naomi began conversing fluently in English with him. Hello, John. It's been a while. I've brought the person we promised today. Hey, Naomi, long time no see. Come on in. Stunned, I entered the mansion with Naomi. The interior was a beautiful blend of Japanese and Western designs, and I couldn't help but be mesmerized. "Naomi, what's going on?" "Well, I used to live abroad when I was younger." According to Naomi, she had worked as a housekeeper abroad. Her meticulous work as a Japanese national had made her popular, and she had received requests from many wealthy clients. John here was one of those clients. John was now a successful manager of a major IT company. He loved Japan and wanted to build a vacation home with a Japanese-style atmosphere. "Mr. Manabe, I've heard about your father from Naomi. He was a wonderful person. I heard that you are as sincere as he was and wanted to meet you." Those words warmed my heart. I remembered my father's teaching. The happiest moment is when I see our customers' smiles. Yes, my father was truly sincere in his work. As I choked on my words, John smiled kindly. "Your parents must have cherished you deeply." Hearing John's words made my eyes well up. "Now, let's get to the point. I want to build a Japanese-style vacation home, but I'm looking for an innovative design that incorporates modern elements, not just a mere imitation." As John spoke, ideas began to bubble up inside me. The knowledge of traditional Japanese architecture I learned from my father and the latest architectural designs I had seen abroad could be merged. "John, if you don't mind, may I share my ideas with you?" I gathered my courage and spoke up. John nodded with interest. "How about we base it on traditional Japanese elements like shoji screens, tatami mats, and courtyards, while incorporating the latest environmental technologies? We could use solar panels, a rainwater collection system, and highly efficient insulation to create a space where tradition and innovation coexist." As I started talking, more ideas came to mind. I could see John's eyes light up. We could also utilize IoT technology to control lighting and air conditioning from smartphones. However, we'll hide the control panel within the shoji. It'll look completely traditional on the outside, but be cutting edge on the inside. Just to clarify, IoT, or Internet of Things, refers to a technology that connects various objects, such as home appliances, cars, and buildings to the Internet. Recently, IoT devices that connect home appliances to the Internet have become common in households. "Wonderful!" John exclaimed. "This is exactly what I was looking for. You seem capable of realizing my dream." I felt a mix of relief and joy at his words. However, reality quickly pulled me back. Despite such encouraging words from John, my company doesn't have the capacity to realize such things. After all, Naomi is the only employee left. "Thank you, but the truth is, the current situation of the company is..." I hesitated, and Naomi spoke up. "President, why not speak honestly?" Taking a deep breath, I resolved myself. "Actually, all the employees who were with the company until recently have quit. We are not in a position to take on large-scale projects at the moment." John looked surprised, but soon returned to a calm expression. "I see. That's a tough situation. But your ideas and passion are genuine. I want to believe in them." "John, let's do this. Why not start with the basic design? In the meantime, we can gather the necessary personnel. I know architects who want to work in Japan. I can introduce them." I was speechless with surprise and gratitude. There are people who give me a chance even in such a situation. "Thank you. I will definitely meet your expectations." On the way back, in the car, Naomi spoke to me. "President, that went well, didn't it?" "Yes, thank you very much." "But Naomi, why did you go to such lengths?" "Actually, I was also close to your father. While I was cleaning, I sometimes gave him business advice." "What?" "Actually, your father once saved my life." Surprised, Naomi began to speak quietly. 20 years ago, when Naomi had just returned to Japan from abroad, she was wandering the streets, unable to find a job. By chance, she passed by Manabe Construction, and at that time, my father came out and spoke to her. "Are you all right? If there's anything I can help with, let me know." Moved by his kind words, Naomi couldn't stop her tears. My father invited her into the company and listened to her story. Then he said, "Would you like to work for us? It started with cleaning jobs, but your father listened to my experiences and gradually began to ask for my advice on management." Tears glimmered in Naomi's eyes. If Mr. Manabe hadn't spoken to me that day, I don't know what would have become of me. He truly saved my life. Hearing her words, my heart warmed. My father was truly a wonderful person, and I finally understood why Naomi was so dedicated to the company. It was a moment when I felt my father's spirit being passed down. When I worked abroad, I often discussed the preferences and needs of wealthy foreigners. Your father always said that Naomi's opinions were valuable. Those words reminded me of my father. Indeed, he was someone who listened to everyone's opinions, regardless of their position or job. I've been watching the way you've been trying desperately to protect the company. I was impressed by your dedication to uphold your father's teachings and prioritize the employees. Your father used to say, "I'm proud of my son. It's a wonderful relationship." Naomi's words warmed my heart. That's why I wanted to help. My abilities are limited, but at least I could create this opportunity. Naomi, thank you so much. I stopped the car and thanked her. Now, it's time to take the first step with the new Manabe construction. I nodded strongly to Naomi's words. A new challenge begins with my father's teachings in my heart. To see our customers' happy faces and to protect what my father built, I will give it my all. Back at the company, I tackled the work with renewed determination. Basic design for John's villa project, identifying necessary personnel, financial planning. There was a lot to do. But I no longer had any doubts. My father's words, Naomi's support, and John's trust pushed me forward. This is my last chance. All right, let's do this. Muttering to myself, I began to envision the future of the new Manabe construction. Determined to take on the remodeling project Naomi's acquaintance had mentioned, I threw my whole soul into the project. Recalling the knowledge I gained from my travels abroad, I crafted a design that balanced the charm of Japanese houses with the comfort for foreigners, blending Japanese beauty with modern functionality. As I muttered, I repeatedly redrew the sketches. Long nights of work continued. There were times I felt stuck and wanted to give up. At such times I remembered my father's words. The happiest moment is when I see our customers' smiling faces. Pushed by those words, I persevered. The completed design was greatly appreciated by John. The contrast between the Japanese exterior and the interior with the latest IoT technology was highly praised. This is exactly what I was looking for. When I saw John smile, my heart warmed. It was the moment I truly felt the meaning of my father's words. The remodeling was a great success, and John invited me to a celebration party for the completion. I hesitated at first, but Naomi encouraged me to attend. At the party, one after another of John's acquaintances approached me. "I want you to design my villa. I want to create a Japanese-style room in my house overseas." Requests poured in, and although I was overwhelmed, I was filled with joy. This experience marked the rapid growth of Manabe construction. I think it's time to talk about the truth behind the harassment against the company. After Shindo left, the harassment against the company stopped abruptly. It was as if a storm had passed, and I was relieved by the quietness of the company. However, at the same time, doubts arose. Who had been behind that harassment? One day, a security camera at a convenience store near the company captured Shindo scattering trash. I couldn't believe it when I saw the footage and immediately consulted a lawyer to file a complaint. Shindo. It pained my heart to be betrayed by someone I had trusted. But this was an unavoidable path to protect the company. A few days later, Shindo was arrested. The employees who had resigned under his influence learned the truth and began to return one after another. "Ken, I'm really sorry. If it's all right with you, we would like to work with you again." I was nearly moved to tears by the words of the employees. Finally, the company began to regain its calm. Of course, my lack of management skills was also a problem. Let's start over together. With this experience, Manabi construction rapidly grew. Requests from overseas increased, and eventually, we even established a branch overseas. Thinking back to the day I nearly lost everything, it seems like a dream. But this is undeniably reality. I was able to grow the company I inherited from my father even further. Now we have more employees, and former colleagues have returned. Dad, are you watching? I have come this far with your teachings in my heart. I mutter quietly as I look out the window. I can see the townscape of a foreign country. This is the office of our branch in Paris. President, the preparations for the next meeting are ready. Naomi's voice brings me back to reality. She now supports the company as the executive vice president. Thank you, Naomi. Let's go. I stand up and head to the meeting room. We will continue to aim higher, to see our customers' happy faces, and with my father's spirit in my heart. And I reported to my father's grave. Dad, the company is doing well. The employees have returned, and I've decided to marry Mari, who has been supporting Mom. I recall my father's words while clasping my hands at his grave. No matter what position the other person holds, if you deal with sincerity, it will eventually return to you. With those words in my heart, I resolve to continue protecting Manabi Construction. I will inherit my father's teachings and lead with sincerity and strength.